If you're a single woman over 40 looking for Mr. Right and you're ready to learn the most underrated skill to save time and heartache, you're in the right place. In this episode, as an intuitive dating coach, I'm talking about creating an intuitive dating plan and why you need one. You don't want to miss this. Welcome to episode 11. We're in season 3, and I can't believe it that next week will be the season finale. Wow. I'm just loving this podcast, and I hope you are too. And I'm always open to receiving ideas or topics or things that you'd be interested in me talking about, all the things around dating, love, and self-love. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite things, which is what I call an intuitive dating plan. So what is it exactly? Why do you need it? And what are most women doing? And why is it a problem? And who really needs an intuitive dating plan? I'm going to answer all those questions and more today. Let's get into it. If you're wondering, who is this person talking to me? I have been doing intuitive healing work for over 20 years personally and 18 years professionally, and I have a deep understanding of my own intuition. I've been teaching clients for years how to use their intuition and the whole thing around the misunderstood world of manifestation and all those things around love and life in general. So if you're a woman over 40 and you feel really worn out by dating confusion, and you feel like you're just chasing the wrong connections, it's not that you're doing it wrong. You've simply been taught to override your inner knowing, and that's what I love to talk about. If you're interested in really going deeply into this, I have an audio course called Intuitive Path to Love, and it's your gentle invitation to return home to yourself, trust your intuition, and begin attracting love with ease, clarity, and deep self-trust. It's got 4 audio modules walking you through intuition, how to access it, strengthen it, and how to come up with an intuitive plan, dating plan. It also comes with 7 chakra healing meditations, which are very powerful around connecting to your archetypal goddesses within. You'd be joining over 2,700 students who love the course and got a lot out of it for their love life. So I really encourage you to check that out. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. All right. So what is an intuitive dating plan? This is really about tapping into your true self and your heart's desires so you can magnetize and attract the type of relationship you truly want. It's about listening to your body and your deep inner wisdom to guide you as to who to date, where to spend your time, and gauging your feelings and success based on your inner voice as opposed to the mind, what the mind is telling you and, getting you to chase your tail and go around in circles. It is the complete opposite of that. I would say for myself, once I started getting really intuitive and intentional and deeply reflective of what my heart was telling me, everything changed. I started to change my patterns of people pleasing, of doing things because I should or because it looked good on paper. This is what a lot of women fall into when they're dating. It's a societal issue that I think that women need to go back to the basics and back to their intuitive self. And of course, men too as well, but I'm really focused on helping women because I know firsthand what it was like as a woman to date in my 40s. I didn't meet my husband until I was 44. And so I know that longing and that sense of being like, there's something really wrong with me. Like, why is everyone else finding love and I'm finding this so difficult? Why is it so hard for me? One of the answers was I needed to go in and be more intuitive. And that's why I wanted to talk about an intuitive dating plan specifically. It's figuring out how long you want to be dating, how much time you want to spend every week, what feels good to you, how to listen to your body and your heart and your intuition as it speaks to you while you're dating, and what are your intentions behind it? What do you intend to do? What do you intend to find? And what kind of life do you want to live with somebody? This is about looking at the big picture and the smaller details all in a very introspective and feminine and intuitive way. So that's what an intuitive dating plan is in a nutshell. The next part I want to talk about is, why do you need this? Why wouldn't you date and just go for it and answer the sort of hustle culture and just try to go on as many dates as you can? I've heard people say, I'll just do like 100 coffee dates. And as I just, power through them, I'm going to for sure find someone because it's a numbers game. And that is exactly the opposite of an intuitive dating plan because, as you probably guessed, it leads to dating burnout. The reason why you would want to have an intuitive dating plan is you don't want to burn out or feeling angry and resentful and frustrated and feeling deflated, having negative, exhausted thoughts and experiences, even feeling physically sick when you go on dates or use the apps. I've talked about clients that I've had where they would open up the dating app and they would literally start to get physically ill. This is what happens when you're not able to follow your intuition. And I'm not saying that you don't have feelings to process. I also teach women how to process their feelings as they come up because that is very important. You've got to be honest about how you're feeling and you've got to allow those emotions and feelings to move through you. That's extremely important. But what I'm saying is you want to be very intentional and able to move through those things more quickly so that you can really hone in on dating in a way that feels good for you and also attracts the right kind of people, and you have a more joyful and enjoyable experience. Who wouldn't want that? And so why you really need it is you don't want to be spending all this time, especially if you're in your 40s and you're just the way I was, where it's like I'm getting older and I just feel really deflated. And as the years go on, I feel more and more hopeless about finding someone. And I don't want you to get to that stage, not because I don't believe it's possible to find love at any age. That's not what I'm saying. It's just if it takes many years and many decades for you to find what you're looking for, it becomes harder and harder to stay hopeful and to even want to do it. There's a lot of women out there who you might be thinking are feeling the same way. It's like, what's the point of even dating? Why do I even want to date? And I know there's a growing number of women who are just starting to say, I don't want to date at all. I'm just going to leave it. Like, just let the universe bring someone to me if they will. And if not, I'll just live with it. And I really, really hope that you can find that kernel of inspiration in my podcast and from listening to me that it is possible. There is someone out there who will love you for who you are. Period. End of sentence. So the reason you need this intuitive dating plan is you don't want to be choosing the wrong guys. You don't want to be wasting your time chasing after love and making choices based on what you think you should do and falling into the patterns that I was doing around people pleasing. When people are like, well, you should look for a guy like this and you should make sure that he's got XYZ and he does this or he looks like this or he does this kind of work. Friends and family will have lots of opinions about who you should be dating and who is compatible for you. That's another thing is people will say, well, I think you're this kind of personality or Enneagram or human design or whatever it is, and this person's going to be perfect for you, but this person won't be compatible for you. And that is not for them to answer. If you do fall into that trap where you're not dating intentionally and intuitively, you're going to fall more easily into the trap of listening to other people and ending up in the wrong scenarios. You're going to keep going on dates where you'll do what I did, where it's like, well, I don't really like this guy, but I'm just going to try to stay open. I'm going to try to think positively, or I'll just keep showing up because it's probably me. I'm just being too negative, or I'm judging this person and I should give him another chance. And you definitely don't want to fall into that. Of course, everything I say comes with a grain of salt and there is nuance to it. A lot of what I teach in my courses is to be able to read that nuance. And nuance comes from intuitive living and having your intuitive dating plan. That's where you're going to be like, well, my mind might tell me I should give this guy another chance, but my heart is saying, no, let's move forward. Let's move on. And you want to listen to your heart. And the other thing we do is say, oh, well, I'm being too judgmental. But your intuition is guiding you towards what you truly want in an efficient way. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the other person. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean they have negative energy or they've got bad juju or whatever it is. It just means that that is not the compatible match that you're looking for. That's not the harmonious, lasting love that feels like home. that there's something out there for you and you're being led in that direction to find that person or to have them find you. And it's not that there's anything wrong with these other guys. It's just that it's going to lead you down a road that is not going to be what you want. And so allow your intuition to guide you. Allow your intuition to say, no, let's move forward. Let's move on, because we know what we really want. And it's about listening to that. This is why you really, really need an intuitive dating plan. You want to feel connected. You want to feel fulfilled with someone, and you want to stop making the wrong choices in love and then regretting it. Put up your hand if you have regretted any dating scenarios. I mean, I have millions of stories of regret where I don't regret putting myself out there. I regret dating the wrong guys who were unavailable for me or who were not on the same wavelength as me and spending so much time chasing after love. That's why I call this podcast Stop Chasing Unavailable Guys, because that's what I was doing for decades, and I don't want that for you. Okay, so what we're talking about now is really what are most women doing and why is it a problem? And I've already brought up a lot of different things, but women especially are listening to other people, which is different than learning how to do something or how to date intentionally with intuition by taking a course or reading a book or listening to this podcast. That's learning how to do it. That's not listening to other people. I don't want you to go out there and say, Eleanor said this, and so I better do it. No, I'm teaching you how to do it for yourself and how to find your answers within and how to be deeply connected to your own self-trust and to live your life like that and to date like that. That is what you're learning right now. The way most women are doing it is listening to other people, like, well, so-and-so said that in order to get a guy, you have to do XYZ and use this kind of script and you have to act this certain way and make sure you don't do this and make sure you don't do that and all of the rules and all of the things. And that's kind of on the more of the bro side of things, but even on the spiritual side, in the feminine spiritual community, there's all this stuff about you have to have your divine feminine activated and you've got to do all of this. And if you're not feminine enough, if you're not in your divine feminine, you're going to repel the guy or you'll attract someone who's too feminine. You're not balanced with the divine feminine and masculine. First of all, that is a rabbit hole you do not want to go down because, again, I have been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. I tried so hard to be in my divine feminine. I mean, if I was told, stand on your head and dance around the fire at the light of the full moon and all this stuff, I did it because I felt instinctively unfeminine. I felt dorky. I was like, I can't flirt. I don't know how to talk properly to guys. I'm terrible at this and I cannot attract someone from my divine feminine. I spent years beating myself up and feeling like absolute crap about myself because I wasn't divine feminine enough. And so please, please get out of that rabbit hole. What you want, and this is coming from me, who is a spiritual teacher. I do healing work, I do energy work, and I've been in this realm for decades. I know from experience and from working with my clients that you need to be in your wholeness. You need to be showing up as your whole authentic self, your true self, in your wholeness, whole. Not worried about feminine, masculine, this part of my energy, that part of my energy, and I'm not showing up with this or that. It's like, how do you divide and compartmentalize energy? Someone tell me that, please. You can't, because you can only be yourself. You can only be in your energy. You can only have your divine essence, your whole authentic self showing up as you are. That is it. Anyone who says you have to activate this and that and this piece and that piece, it's like, try to go into the ocean and divide it up into pieces and then come back to me because it's a losing battle. It really is. So please stop that rabbit hole. Now, I digress. I went on a whole tangent there, but what I'm really talking about is how women are actually dating and what most women are doing and why it's a problem. And as you can see, making decisions from the spiritual community, societal expectations, what you should do, listening to, do these 10 steps or whatever, it's causing problems. And obviously you're going to end up chasing your tail. You're going to be basically with someone who's good on paper, and it's not going to be that beautiful, spiritually connected, loving relationship you're looking for. Because I have, as I said, tried that and it didn't work. And also, many of my clients have been stuck in this same merry-go-round. All right, so let's stop chasing our tails and let's look at who needs an intuitive dating plan. Well, if you've been listening for the last 10, 15 minutes, you'll know I'm going to say, spoiler alert, everyone needs this, especially women over 40. You don't have time to waste and you are ready. More importantly, you are truly ready to find lasting love that feels like home. You can feel that in your bones. I know you can. Now is the time. And you can do it. I believe in you. Start with your intuitive dating plan. In a nutshell, the way that you would do this, the things that you need to do is figure out what kind of time commitment you're going to put in and create a strategy and like a calendar around it. So how many days a week, how many hours? It could be 1 or 2 hours a week. And there's a certain time limit and you prepare yourself intuitively. You guide yourself beforehand and then afterwards. And you just go on the app for that amount of time. And you maybe have some intentions of what you want to do while you're on the app. And so it's a very structured and spiritual thing. There's two aspects to it. It's the practical side and the intuitive side, because you want to have boundaries. You want to have your energy contained. You want to be respecting your energy and your boundaries. And you also want to be in the flow. So two of those things can happen at the same time. It might sound paradoxical, but it actually works really, really well. Like I said, it's just so beautiful. It's a nice blending of spiritual and practical. So give that a try. Just do some meditating, do some journaling, say, what am I really looking for? And what do I want to be guided towards in the next 2 months? That could be your question. And then start journaling with it. Do a little meditation around that. You could even do some archetypal meditations. You can go back and listen to my previous podcast in season 3. I have one on archetypes. That's one of my manifestation tools that I use. You can go back and get an idea of how to do an archetypal meditation. And you can also go to my shop and check out my guided meditation journeys, where those are already all done for you. All you have to do is listen and just start getting into the energy of it. What am I feeling? What is my intuition telling me? What is my heart whispering to me? And then create a little bit of a calendar the next couple of months with your intuitive guidance. And that's really as simple as it is. And like I said in the beginning, if you want the exact steps of really getting into your intuition, learning how to use your intuition to find love, you would love my Intuitive Path to Love audio course, which teaches you how to use your intuition. And it's a 4-part audio series. You get the 7 guided meditations, your love goddess meditations, which are so cool. They'll give you a taste of that journey within that I was talking about, accessing your archetypal goddess for each chakra. And you'll learn to trust your intuition and begin attracting love with ease, clarity, and deep self-trust. I'll put the link in the show notes for that. So that wraps up my intuitive dating plan, why it's so important and why you really need to start doing that, and how I think it's really the difference between chasing after love, going around in circles, feeling frustrated, deflated around dating, and transforming that to attracting the love you're looking for with that clarity and deep self-trust. And it becomes a more beautiful and joyful journey. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you, and I would love to have you join me for my season finale next week, episode 12, where I'm going to be answering your burning dating questions. Please do email me if you have a burning dating question, info@trulyeleanor.com, and let me know what you would love an answer around. And I will be doing a whole episode on that next week. Thanks for listening, and remember, love is closer than you think.